set him over the whole realm. Now, when the Bible uses the word this before Daniel conquered them, Nebuchadnezzar took Daniel, his man, over the whole realm. He had presidents who were Medes, but he thought to set Daniel, twice over conquered people, over his kingdom. Who does that? What Republican president has a Democratic vice president? You have never seen it. You will never see it. That's why there are two promoters. There are two ways to be promoted in this world. The first question we're asking is, who is my promoter? Now you see, the first promoter is going to take you into an office. He's going to sit you down in a nice comfortable couch. He's going to serve you whatever you want. And then he's going to make his pitch. Because you see, when someone is your promoter, they're investing in you for their gain. 4:5-7. The Bible says, and the devil, taking him up into a high mountain, showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. And the devil said, all this power will I give you, and the glory of them, for it is delivered unto me. And to whomsoever I will give it. If you therefore will worship me, all will be yours. So the claim is to ownership. The attempt is to achieve. The seduction is the life you can live while he's promoting you. Oh, brethren, people devote their lives every single day because they've been taken up to a high mountain by Satan. He shows them Beverly Hills. He shows them Paris. He shows them London. He shows them fame and fortune. Sexiest man alive. Multi-millionaire, even millionaire, even billionaire. And people sacrifice their lives for this claim to ownership. Now, here is where it's really sick. Many people who are not celebrities, who are not rich, follow these people as gods. People devote their lives to being a follower of a celebrity, an athlete, whosoever. They live vicariously through these people. When the celebrity is mad, they're mad. When the celebrity is sad, they're sad. How they dress, we dress. What they like, we like. They are consumed with the lives of human beings. So Satan works on both fronts. He has the celebrity and he has the nation of the celebrity. That's why they're idols. This results in a focus only on the earthly, never on the heavenly. But you see, the problem is the fine print. You know those little words at the bottom of the screen when they're advertising pills that you can't read? And the symptoms are worse than what the pill is supposed to treat. I'm trying to treat cancer, but the symptom of the pill is death. You must read the fine print. Luke chapter 4 and verse 7. He slips it there at the end. When he shows you the kingdoms, when he shows you the glory, when he shows you the money, he slips in verse 7. If thou therefore will worship me. He never offers without worship. That's why people enter into a league with him to achieve worldly status. But the fine print is also saying to you, there is only one world. He's only offering one world to billions of people. So that's why people are intoxicated with being the greatest of all time. Everybody wants to be the best. Who am I going to step over to be the best? I need to be the best, but I only have one world. But you see, the gaining of the world is an illusion, brothers and sisters. In the process of gaining, one loses so much of themselves. By the time reality dawns, it's hopeless. Two realities. When you've become rich and famous, and you've lost so much in the end, there are many people today sitting in multi-million-dollar homes, in their bedrooms, looking at themselves, desiring to kill themselves. Next problem. By the time you become a billionaire, you way past your prime. And it dawns on you, I don't have enough lifetimes to spend my money. So what are our billionaires doing today? Trying to find out ways to extend life. Putting together a team of scientists right now. Jeff Bezos, Amazon, all of them. Put together a team of scientists to figure out how to extend life. That's why they're even looking to robotics now, AI. Maybe I can exist in a robot. But let's look at the opposite of that. Daniel's promoter. Why did the king decide to promote Daniel? Because what was in him, somebody? An excellent spirit was in him. So to know who's promoting Daniel, you trace the spirit. In Daniel 5, from verse 1, if you read it, Belshazzar, as we know, was a king who made a great feast to thousands of his lords and drank wine before the thousands. And the Bible says he was having so much fun, he decided the vessels of the Lord must have wine in them for me to drink. Oh, the hand came out and wrote. The Bible says he sought an interpretation for what was written. But you know who came and spoke to him? In verse number 10 of Daniel chapter 5. There was a queen present. The Bible says, now the queen, by reason of the words of the king and his lords, came into the banquet house. The queen spake and said, O king, live forever. Do not let the thoughts trouble you, nor let your countenance be changed. You're a foolish boy. If you were reading the annals of your former father, you would realize, verse number 11, there is a man in the kingdom. In that man is the spirit of the holy gods. In the days of your father, light, understanding, and wisdom, like the wisdom of the gods, was found in this man, whom the king Nebuchadnezzar, thy father, the king, I say, thy father. She's insulting Belshazzar. There was no king like Nebuchadnezzar. She watched that man go from heathen to transformation when God was done with him. So she says, your king made him master of the magicians, the astrologers, the Chaldeans, the soothsayers. For as much as an excellent spirit and knowledge and understanding, interpreting of dreams, showing of hard sentences, dissolving of doubts, brethren, were found in Daniel because of the spirit that was in him. You're confused today, you're mystified today, you had a dream, you're wondering what it means. Seek that spirit. So Belshazzar had Daniel called. If you go all the way back to Daniel 1, you will understand the very inception of Daniel's ministry in Babylon. He purposed in himself not to defile himself with the king's meat and drink that extends to the doctrine of Babylon itself. You see, when Nebuchadnezzar chose Daniel, it was expected for Daniel and his friends to learn the ways of the Chaldeans, to transform Israelite to Babylonian. But the test presented itself, and Daniel allowed his promoter to work. I will trust in God. Test us against the scholars of Babylon. I want us to understand, brothers and sisters, true success in any line of work is not the result of chance, accident, or destiny. It's not because you went to 42nd Street and got your palm read. It's not because you opened a fortune cookie and read it. It is the outworking of God's providences, the reward of faith, discretion, virtue, perseverance, fine mental qualities, and the high moral tone are not the result of accident. These things are developed in us. God gives opportunities. Success depends on the use made of these opportunities. Human effort avails nothing without divine power. The richest man in the world needed God's air to breathe for him to be rich. Could Daniel have achieved promotion by adhering to Nebuchadnezzar's principles? Yes. Eat my meat, Drink my wine, I will promote you. He chose God to promote him. All he did was submit himself to be faithful to God in captivity. The result, God promoted him where human reasoning would render it impossible. That's what God did in the face of Babylon. Then he went to Medo-Persia. In the face of Medo-Persia, he was still promoted. Daniel was faithful in every small detail, so God could trust him with the office he held. A lot of people want to be prime minister today because of the fame of it. And they call themselves Daniel because they're running for office. And when they're in the office, they're worse than the politicians who are supposed to be looking out for them. You see, we at times are distressed because we cannot see the promotion coming. We want God to remove us in places he wants to promote us. And there are other times where we want God to promote us in places he wants to remove us. The key aspect is letting God do his work through his Spirit in us. There's one thing though. It's all downhill for Daniel now. How dare Darius try to promote this man against us, Medes, his blood? Daniel 6, 4-5. Then the presidents and the princes sought to find occasion against Daniel. We're going to follow this man everywhere he goes. Is he stealing some money here or there? Is he handling business right? But the Bible says they could find no occasion, no fault, for as much as he was faithful, there was no error or fault found in him, because God is his promoter. The second question is, can the world see Jesus in me? There are two distinct reactions to people who see Jesus in you. One is drawn to Jesus in you. They love you for it. They love the Christ in you. They want the Christ in you. You can minister to them. There are others who just hate you with a passion. They want to eliminate you. I want you to get this, brethren. Many want to eliminate you for the right things you do, for the right spirit in you. When God is promoting, your character is a direct contrast to the character of the world. The life that you are living is a testimony of Christ in you, and darkness doesn't like that. That's why the Bible says, let your light so shine. You see, sin mars and destroys. God restores. In the book of Matthew, what did God tell you? You are the light of the world, a city on a hill. You cannot hide your Christianity in this world. One of the great problems of many find themselves today trying to become darkness to minister to darkness. God says, I made you a light, and you shine as lights in a cruel and adulterous generation. You see, Darius embraces the light and salt in Daniel. So God is working in him to promote Daniel. The presidents and the princes embrace darkness. So the devil is working in them to take Daniel out. So they're assessing his work, but his work is perfect. Assess their work, brothers and sisters. Look at Daniel chapter 6. The presidents, the princes assembled themselves together and said unto King Darius, live forever. All the presidents of the kingdom, the governors, the princes, the counselors, the captains have consulted together. Was Daniel in that meeting? Was Hananiah, Azariah, or Mishael? All of us have consulted. And we make a royal statute, which is a firm decree. No one should ask anything for 30 days, save unto you, O king. They appeal to his pride. They are devious in their work, so we know who their promoter is. So now, O king, establish the decree, sign the writing, that it be not changed according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which cannot be altered. So he signed the writing and the decree. They are operating through envy, hatred, deception. They appeal to his pride. They minimize their own gods for their plan to work. That's all the respect you have for your statues. Now the question is Daniel's God dispensable? The Bible says when Daniel knew the writing was signed, he knew it. Did he go to his room and shut the door, brethren? Did he run in the closet, under the bed? The Bible says he went in his house, his windows wide open, in his chamber, towards the city of God. He knelt on his knees. He didn't cut it down. 3 times a day, and prayed before his God and gave thanks before his God, as he always did. You don't change your plan for man. Daniel 6:11 says, then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God. You know what they said when they were planning this? I want to go back a little bit and join it with what I just read. They said in verse 5, we shall not find any occasion with this man except concerning what? I want everybody's biggest flaw in Advent Fellowship today to be that the fault you have is your service to God. Because the time is coming when they will test that flaw. All the laws of government will come together. The question is, are you diligent? Are you obedient unto death? They were waiting by the window, binoculars if necessary, and they saw this man praying to his God. The Bible says, then they came near and spake before the king concerning his decree, that every man that ask of a petition of any god or man within 30 days, save thee, O king, shall be cast in the den of lions. The king answered and said, the thing is true, according to our law which cannot be altered. Then they laid the hammer down. That Daniel, not this Daniel, that Daniel, that joker, that slave, that Israelite, which is of the children of captivity of Judah, regardeth not you, O king, and the decree you sign, but maketh his petition not once, 3 times a day. He's laughing in your face. When the king heard this, he was so displeased with himself and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him. He labored all day. Consider this for power. His power signed the decree. His power received the honor from the decree. His power set the decree in stone. His power meant an innocent man is now condemned to lions. Yet his power could not undo what his power put into effect. That's the folly of human power. That's the folly when we as people